welcome back to my channel. So today's haul is a huge one. It is such an exciting one. It was going to be a single house haul actually, because they are pretty much all from one house except for one fragrance that I decided to just loop into this haul so that it wouldn't be on its own, and that one actually ended up being really special in its own way. So without any further ado, if you haven't subscribed already, don't forget to subscribe. And let's get into another wonderful blind buy haul. These are my favorite. And this one, again, everything is from one house and from FRAGRANCENET except for the first one. And you guys, this is an exciting moment. You will know if you've been with me for a while and if you've been commenting that I have wrote about this to you guys several times. Especially those of you who live or are based out in the States, because I have been long jealous of how often you guys find Laura Mercier fragrances at your TJ Maxx and Marshalls, because we do not. Or at least I'll speak for myself, I certainly never do. Those fragrances never show up. They are never in our stores, and I'm just so envious of that because I've always wanted to try them out and I feel like they would all be totally up my alley. So I went to a Winners, which is like our equivalent of TJ Maxx. That's really far from me, and that I'd never been before, on a total whim. And I found my first ever Laura Mercier, and honestly, I found 3. But they're all the same scent, and I couldn't bear to leave them in the store. I genuinely got all 3. They're all of the same scent. I might gift the other 2 at some point down the road. I might not because I'm that crazy, but I'm just wondering, maybe with time my obsession with it will go away. I might not even like the scent, so we'll see, but I'm sure I will. So this is the Ambre Vanille. So it's the amber vanilla one. They're eau de toilettes, I think, all of them. And these were, because I know you guys asked, they were $39.99. I just couldn't help it. I was really hoping that they were 3 different types, but that would have been pushing my luck, I think. So like I said, I might use all 3. I might keep all 3. I might gift the other 2 because backups I don't personally consider as being like part of the whole I collect every fragrance since the beginning of time thing. So I have gifted my backups before, but like I said, you never know. So this is Ambre Vanille, with the notes for it are orchid, heliotrope, tangerine, coconut, almond, and sandalwood. Interesting. No actual amber note in it, but on the back, it does say the sensuality of amber blends effortlessly with the warm comfort of vanilla to create a fragrance that has feminine excellence and fresh floral notes of tangerine, tiger orchid. So, oh, it says brown sugar and sandalwood in this too. So who knows? We are excited. They all sound good to me. Here's what it looks like. Very exciting. Oh my God, I've been so excited to find these. I literally couldn't believe my eyes because I've seen so many of you guys find like the pistachio one, and I don't know, very exciting. So let's see. I have a lot of fragrances to try today. I have 7, so I'll do my best to, oh my God, spray it on. Okay, wait, I need to spray more. I'm getting so excited. It does smell really good. Okay, immediately it is very sweet, kind of coconut, almond, dessert. I really like it. There's also like I smell like kind of a soft white amber, not a really like dark amber scent, but I definitely get that. Oh my God, it really does. It's kind of like a really creamy, slightly coconut vanilla with a light amber, and I do get some almond note. I actually don't get any tangerine at all. It's not fruity in the least, at least to my nose. It's sort of powdery, amber, sweet vanilla, maybe it might get woodier and less sweet as it stays on the skin. I actually don't even know how well this will perform, obviously, but I love this scent. It smells very feminine, a little gourmand. Oh, I love it. Oh, I'm so happy. Okay, so that is Amber Vanilla. I wanted to show that one and its backups first because the rest of the fragrances, like I said, are from FRAGRANCENET, and I went a little crazy, but honestly, whenever FRAGRANCENET or really any website that I order from has a whole lot of this particular house, then I go for it because it's not the easiest house to find, and I adore their fragrances, and that is Jil Sander. So we're gonna get to 6 Jil Sander fragrances. I have never smelled any of them. There are some that I've really had on my wish list for a while, and others that I've just not picked up yet. So I really did go for it, and we are gonna start with one of these two that kind of go together. So this is like the Sun Pop collection. I think there is more than just 2, but I only saw 2 on FRAGRANCENET. So I have this one and Coral, but we'll start with the pink. So this is Sun Pop Pink. And again, this is an eau de toilette by Jil Sander, and very excited. The bottle colors are so up my alley. They're so fluorescent and summery, and look at how beautiful it is. Absolutely love. And I feel like this style and the round style are very quintessentially Jil Sander, and this is kind of actually like a little bit of a soft touch, matte touch bottle, which is nice. So this lists red currant, lemon, jasmine, tiare flower, and vanilla. So not a lot of notes to speak from. Color wise, I'm obsessed. I used to have a nail polish this exact shade of pink, and I was really, really into that one. So let's see what we think of Pink Pop. Ooh. Okay, straight off the bat, definitely red currant is coming through. Like there's a real currant citrus opening, but there's actually really beautiful florals in this that I don't think, sorry, it also lists jasmine, which I should have said. I don't think I'm necessarily getting jasmine or tiare flower that I can pick out, especially tiare flower. I feel like that's a very beachy, tropical floral. This smells kind of like an amalgamation of florals that is very reminiscent. Like other than the red currant, slightly citrusy opening, the florals in this smell so similar to Deseo by Jennifer Lopez. I love that fragrance. I'm on my 2nd bottle of it actually. In a comparison video, like in a dupe video, I definitely need to remember to compare these two, because right off the bat, based on memory, it's really reminding me of that fragrance, because that is such a lush garden of florals scent, but kind of like a floral garden at dusk or something. Like there is something slightly sunset vibes about it, and that one was really modeled on smelling like Jennifer Lopez's actual garden in her backyard, and this reminds me of that. Like it does not smell like the bottle or the vibe where you think it's going to be a very summery, bright, super sweet kind of scent. This smells more mature and floral than the bottle would give off, but it's not a mature, like very dated floral or anything. It actually smells very, very lush and very bordering on going into the green, but it's not a green scent. But it's also not tropical. So yeah, very interesting. Was not expecting that at all. And I'm really interested in actually breaking out my Deseo bottle and comparing these two side to side, so that maybe eventually I do want to do another dupes video. I loved filming my first one, and it's one of the videos that you guys really, really liked. So I've just been putting it off, but I need to remember to include this one. So that is Pop Pink, or Sun Pop Pink by Jil Sander. All right, so the next one is, like I said, the other of the pop collection that I could find. And this is Pop Coral, Sun Pop Coral. And this one, I have to say, and you shouldn't judge a scent by the bottle or anything, especially as far as Pop Pink goes, but I am really looking forward to this one. Coral is one of my favorite shades ever, especially this kind of fluorescent. This shade I just love. It makes me happy. It's very me. So I have high expectations, but the notes are mandarin, freesia, osmanthus, heliotrope, amber, and musk. So again, some very favorite notes are in there, but you never know what it's going to be. God, I just love this bottle, you guys. It's stunning. Like, I don't know if it's everyone's cup of tea, but this also next to one another, they're beautiful. I can't remember if I feel like there should be at least one more in this pop collection. I feel like there might have been a trilogy, but anyways, I'm happy to have picked up these two. So let's see how Coral compares. We'll spray it a little bit higher here. Oh my God. Wow, you know what? In the back of my mind, I swear I was thinking to myself, I wonder if this one's gonna smell like something else too. And I'm like, no, whatever, get over yourself. It totally does. And sometimes, you guys, it'll take me a minute. Or it just will never come to me while I'm filming it. And some of you have pointed it out, which I find it's hilarious. I'll be like, oh my God, this reminds me of this, but I can't put my finger on it. I'll let you know later. And I have to come back to it. These two have not been that. It's been immediate. This, upon first spray, smells like big Lush shampoo. I also have the big body spray, which the Lush body sprays might as well be eau de parfums, honestly, with how strong they are. So I 100% have to compare the two and just see if I'm insane or if they're not just totally identical, because that, I don't recall big scent, like their big Lush scent having a lot of these same fragrance notes. Like, I don't know, it's stunning. Immediately I'm very into it. It's got a really salty, kind of like a salted citrus floral. I love when there's like really beautiful, kind of almost fresh, sweet florals that have salt in them. This doesn't list salt as a note, but it really does smell like it's in there, and it's obviously in big. And I really just thrive off of those scents. They make me really happy, and just like they feel kind of more sensual, a little bit beachy, a little bit everything. Olympia has salt. I really love with ginger flower. This, I definitely get the citrus in this, but it's so perfect. It's not tart at all. It's just sweet and fresh. And I actually wouldn't say it's super freesia-like. Like, again, I definitely get some florals, but to me, it seems a lot more of like it kind of smells a little bit more of like a musky, fresh floral, with a lot of salt, a lot of brightness. Oh my God, I love it. And a lot of sweet citrus. I am obsessed with it already. I can feel like this is a total me scent. I'm really curious to compare it and contrast it with Lush Big, which I adore. And I love the shampoo as well. Even though I have dry hair, I feel like the smell stays in your hair so well. And if you need volume, it's a great volumizing shampoo. Sometimes I feel like for me, because my hair is already pretty voluminous, it can be too voluminous, if that's a thing. But yeah, I really like that scent. So I'm really happy to have that one in my collection. Then we will move on to Jil Sander Style Soft. And this is a smaller bottle, and I know that there are these 3 other style fragrances that are kind of like a light yellow, a light green, and a light pink. I've been on the hunt for those for ages. I haven't seen them anywhere. I think those are the colors, but this isn't part of that collection, or it is, but it's not part of those 3. So anyways, I saw it show up on FRAGRANCENET. The other ones look like this, but they're opaque. So anyways, I snagged it up. A lot of Jil Sander fragrances have like very similar names and kind of like repeated names. So you do have to keep an eye out to not accidentally get the same thing twice or just know what you're getting. But I really do like them. So this is Style Soft. Like I said, again, it's an eau de toilette. And the notes for this one are freesia, blood orange, clementine, freesia, blackcurrant, clementine, violet, magnolia, jasmine, vanilla, musk, woody notes, and vetiver. So here she is. Again, a little bit more of a different bottle. I know she has some bottles that look like this, but this is the first one in this style that I've personally gotten. So let's see what we think. We've been having good luck with the Jil Sander blind buys till now, so let's see if it continues. Oh, this is one of those cases where it's reminding me of something else and I can't recall what it is. It might be actually another Jil Sander fragrance. I think it's reminding me of Jil Sander Sun Bath, but a better version of that, because that one's a bit aquatic in like a puts me off kind of way, and this to me definitely smells like an aquatic scent, which I don't think it's marketed towards. I think it was describing it as being a little bit more powdery, if I remember correctly. And I don't get any blackcurrant at all. I would say, which is supposed to be in the opening, it's a really interesting fragrance. I feel like it's a fruity floral that is very aquatic and almost pool-like, as in like being at the pool. There's something pool scented about this, and it's not the first scent of Jil Sander where I feel like it has a pool vibe rather than a beachy vibe, and those kinds of scents don't necessarily come around that often, and they're kind of harder to describe. I know some of you understood exactly what I meant the last time I talked about pool scents, and others were like, oh, I wish you could explain more, and I really wish I could. I'll have to like reflect on that a little bit more before I do a pool type video, or pool scents, because there are few and far in between, even in my extensive collection, but this really has that vibe. I suppose I mean like aquatic and ozonic, fruity florals that don't venture into being beachy. Okay, I'm interested in just comparing this towards Sun Bath. Maybe my taste has changed and I'm actually okay with that scent now, because I remember it did put me off, or there is something different and I'll have to compare them side by side to see why I'm feeling more comfortable with this. It's right off the bat nowhere as me or enticing as the pop coral, but I do kind of vibe with it, and I feel like, especially now in the midst of winter, it's just making me imagine summery pool days and just like vacations and holidays. So anyways, that is Jil Sander's Style Soft. Okay, so we're gonna get to the next one. I've put this smack center in the middle, the fragrance I am worried about the most. And now I'm a little bit more worried about it, because Style Soft is not a scent that I was expecting to go aquatic, ozonic in that way, at least on my skin. And that is like a harder category or genre of fragrance for me to blind buy within, because my taste has just really drifted away from that through adulthood, compared to when I was like a child and early teenager. I was really into aquatic fragrances for a while there. And this next one is actually the one I was worried about, because it's quite literally an aquatic fragrance, but I just had to try it. And that is Jil Sander's Sport Water. I think there might be a men's version of this, I'm not sure, but anyways, this is a woman's version. And I should have mentioned, a lot of these, or some of these Jil Sander ones on the website on Fragrance Scent were also testers, like this one, so even a better deal. This is a 50 ml eau de toilette, as always. I just went for it. I really can't help it when it comes to Jil Sander. There are very few, very few that I won't pick up and just blind buy and try. If one is just like marketing itself to be a complete chypre, I'll try to not just go for it, because I've been burned before by one of her fragrances. So I'm not getting like any of the flankers, but you never know with me. I might just give in. So here's what this one looks like. This gives me a lot more body spray vibes. There's a couple of her like sportier fragrances that looks like this, but again, I've never had one that came in this bottle. And this lists yuzu, peach, green leaves, amber, jasmine, tea, rose, ambrette, and woody notes. So I don't know. I mean, it could just not be aquatic at all, because it seems like it might just be like a citrusy tea sort of fruity scent with maybe a woody base, in which case sign me up, especially if it's heavy on the tea. But yeah, let's see. Oh, okay. This definitely needs some more sprays. I love the juice color, by the way. It's very reminiscent, and I hope you guys know what I mean, but it's very reminiscent of like early 2000s like girls fragrances. I feel like they first of all had this vibe. They kind of looked like this, and the light blue, like millennium blue color is just transporting me back to that time. Okay. This scent immediately smells very unisex to me, so I want to say that up front. It actually does sort of smell like a scent from like late 90s, early 2000s. It's quite clean in like a citrus heavy way. It's not especially sweet or even especially floral. I feel like I'm gonna let it rest. Obviously, by the time I put them in order, I'll have a little bit more of an understanding of what it's evolving into. But yeah, it smells sort of generic, but in a way that I feel like is comfortable to me, and at least it's not very, I don't know. I love florals, but sometimes a generic floral is more of a disappointment to me than a generic citrus, because I have like higher expectations for florals, I suppose. This could easily be I don't know, if repackaged, this could easily be a more expensive citrusy scent by a number of designer or even niche houses, because they'll come out with their kind of, average lovely citrus, and this just smells like so many of them out there. Not especially aquatic. I wouldn't necessarily name this sport water. I feel like the marketing confused me about this fragrance a tad, and the name, because this doesn't smell how you would think it would smell. I feel like this could easily have been kind of like, yeah, an Italian Riviera, Italian lemon type scent. I would have totally expected that. So yeah, that is sport water. Then we are going to get to, like I said, Jil Sander and her generic names that are repeated. Another one that's just called Style. So not to be confused with many other that are very close to this. This lists musk, pink pepper, cardamom, freesia, iris, violet, magnolia, geranium, vanilla, amber, and a mango, actually. And this is in a tester bottle as well, so I'm even kind of forgetting what it looks like. It might look like Style Soft, to be quite honest, but let's see. Yeah, it does. So here's what it looks like. This is kind of what those three colored ones, like their different like colored collection that came out, looked like these, but in fun colors. So I don't know. I don't even know if I'll like those. The packaging just really got to me with these collections. So let's see. This listed a lot of notes that are very up my alley, like the musk, iris, and violet, and even vanilla. I feel like I'm intrigued, but then there's also a lot of fruity notes. So I'm personally hoping that it's a more powdery than fruity, but let's see. Oh, okay. Very strange. Let me spray some more. This is also very difficult to get the cap back on. I'm a little bit befuddled. It has like this soft and yet very present pink pepper mixed in with, again, a very soft and yet present musk. And I think I wasn't like a powdery musk, but again, it seems as if it's like fighting with this pink pepper. And right off the bat, I feel like this is reminding me of the Hermès Eau Poivrée, which is literally like peppered water, which I do own, but it's dry down. Like it's absolute dry, because that's a lot more peppery. And I've actually started to warm up to that scent. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge, spoiler. I used to not be a big fan, but I don't know why, for whatever reason, I've been slightly drawn to it. This reminds me of that, and it's already dry down. It's not starting out where that Eau Poivrée is, but it definitely has this kind of like powdery pink pepper combination that I don't really hate. Like I don't hate, but I don't love. And it's not that I like it either. Like I'm just intrigued by this. This is one where I'm gonna have to try it out. I'm gonna have to do several wears where I'm just wearing this. And it might be one I'm already gathering that just is sitting really close to the skin and doesn't have sillage. So for me to really get like a good read on it, I might just want to like douse myself in it once or twice, truly, and see how I feel about that. So, okay, we'll leave it there. It's very ambiguous, but I definitely don't hate it, and I'm interested to see how it wears. So that is Jil Sander Style. Okay, so the last one, but certainly not least, is Jil Sander's Softly Eau de Petal. So I'm expecting a floral. Again, you gotta be careful. There's definitely a Jil Sander Softly. This is the Eau de Petal flanker. And this one came in the 80 ml. So this was cherry blossom, rose, mimosa, jasmine, May rose, white musk, rice, and ambroxan. I initially was really like, because I've skipped this fragrance a couple times when I've ordered other Jil Sander fragrances, because this one's always sort of available, or it's available often. And I've just been like, oh, I don't know, it's just going to be a generic floral like Eau de Petal. I've been there, done that. I can pick up more interesting scents from her. But this time around, I looked up the notes, and honestly, it was the rice note that did it for me. I was like, I love rice notes and rice powder notes in fragrance a lot. And I do know she can do a good powdery scent. So here's hoping. This was, again, a bit more of like, it's not a risk, but a little bit more of like taking a leap of faith. And of course, it's in the largest bottle, but that's just the way it works out. Sometimes it's a better deal, and why not pick it up if it's just as expensive? So let's see. I don't actually own a lot of Jil, or in general, I don't own a lot of cherry blossom scents. Immediately, I'm like thinking of Bath and Body Works cherry vanilla or cherry blossom, because that was like if you're around my age, or just like or somewhere obsessed with Bath and Body Works when you were growing up as a teenager, I feel like you couldn't escape Japanese cherry blossom from them. Ooh. Okay, wait, I'm gonna actually spray this one on me right here, because I like it. Okay, I have to say, right when I sprayed it, I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. I smell a whole lot of powder. As it's settled, I feel like it's not so much like powdery scent, but the rose in it, there's definitely like a powdery rose scent that I love. I don't get any Japanese cherry blossom scent because, again, like I'm really thinking of Bath & Body Works Japanese cherry blossom, but I get a powdery rose. I get a sort of like a little bit of a more natural rose scent as well, like an actual maybe dew on flower scent. I don't know if I get rice. I was hoping there would be a deeper rice scent, but that is supposed to be, I think, in the base of the fragrance. So maybe the dry down of this is totally up my alley. I do like it. It is not as generic smelling as I thought it was going to be. It's not the most unique thing ever either, but I feel like if you like a powdery rose, and I don't think it smells like Parfait de Rose at all by Maison Lancôme, so let me get that out of the way. But I feel like if you like that sort of scent, you will like this. And it's sort of like this combination of that and very realistic, like tea rose scents. Yeah, this is what it's smelling like to me. So very interesting. Softly, Eau de Petal, Jil Sander, and now let's put them in order. Okay, so after much thought and taking a little beat, I think I have the definitive order of these 7 fragrances in order from least interested to most. I was very happy to say that no fragrances in this haul were on like the hate spectrum or like the, ooh, I'm not sure already. So that's already a good start, especially with 7 fragrances. It really could have gone awry, but I think it was partially due to the fact that, you know, the great majority of them were by Jil Sander, and she very rarely does it wrong to my taste. I think the only one that I think maybe there's been like 2 that really haven't worked for me. And even out of those 2, only just the one, I think it was called Eve or something. Anyways, whatever that one was called, I've since not bought any flankers, even though they're available, because it's just not my vibe. But that is besides the point. In 7th place, I think you might be able to guess, I put sport water for women. This is, even though every single fragrance I showed you today is an eau de toilette, you never know. There's different formulations, and there's even different percentages within the eau de toilette range of perfume oil per bottle. And for whatever reason, this just has very little of it, very little lasting power. Out of everything, it's the one that smells the least now that I've taken a beat. Everything else is actually still kind of exactly as strong as it was when I sprayed it after my little break, except for this. This has almost gone to being a skin scent at this point. And not that that is a make or break. This is obviously an inexpensive scent, but the scent itself also wasn't my favorite. It's just a citrusy scent. While I'm thankful it's not especially or at all aquatic, there are 1,000,001 other scents out there, and I will probably end up using this up eventually, but I won't be drawn to it. And I'm the least likely to do kind of a wear test of it anytime soon. Then in 6th place, actually, I do have to put Eau de Petal. As it's worn on my skin, or I guess on my cardigan, I have to say it has gotten less and less interesting, but it hasn't gotten, you know, worse and worse in terms of scent. I think it's just kind of settling in to be a really nice, rosy floral. I haven't been smelling anything, even as I've let it rest on my skin and stuff, of that ricey powderiness, and the powdery rose vibe has also diminished the more it's been on my skin, and it's turned more floral. Again, I have tried a lot of fragrances today, so to really give them a good shot, I will do independent wear tests, but right now it's lower down the line of being interesting personally to me. In 5th place, I put Jil Sander Style Soft. This one, from now onwards, it gets better. But I have to say, and I'm glad this one's a smaller bottle. This one, I think I really wasn't expecting it to have that aquatic tinge. And for that reason, I think it just like threw me in for a loop. I am excited to try it out and compare it to the other Jil Sander scent that is aquatic. But I just know myself, and because it has that tinge, albeit a better one, I'm going to be very likely not drawn to it for so many months out of the year, just because I don't live in a tropical climate, that it's just going to kind of fall by the wayside compared to other scents personally. Then in fourth place, I put Jil Sander just Style. This one, very surprisingly, I don't know, like there is something intriguing about this, more so than I did, because I did debate between these two, but this one is less intriguing and it might be more wearable. This one I still am trying to figure out, and part of the interest in collecting fragrances for me now, having so many, is something that piques my interest. And this is, it's showcasing pink pepper, which is a note that I don't usually like, in a way that I might actually find wearable. And it's definitely got a kind of powdery, almost papery iris vibe to it. So I'm excited to try it out. It's broken its spot in fourth place, which is pretty good for a pepper fragrance in my eyes. Then the top three are all bangers. I'm so excited. In third place, I put Pop Pink. I actually really like, there's something almost candy sweet about it, even though there is nothing of that. I like the red currant. Yeah, and I like how the florals remind me of Deseo, which is a fragrance I love. So again, I will be really comparing this to that eventually, but I liked this one, and the candy sweetness isn't something I smell on my skin, but I've been spraying these in the air as well, and for like a minute I get it. It's almost like juicy, and then it goes away, but I do really like that one. In second place, I actually put Ombre Vanille by Laura Mercier. I really like this one, you guys. It's been wearing beautifully on my skin. It is so, it's just like even more gourmand. It's exactly what I thought these sort of scents would be. And it didn't let me down, because when you have high expectations for something, you could so easily be let down. And all this has made me do is be more excited to pick up Laura Mercier fragrances if I ever should find them in these sort of like Marshall's winter stores. I'm gonna be on the lookout for sure. Another thing is, actually, I've noticed some of you find in the States again, fragrances by Corez. You guys, I never find those. Very jealous of that as well. And so that means in first place, Coral Pop. I'm so glad this is my favorite, because it's also my favorite bottle. It smells divine. This is so me. It smells so much like Big. I can't believe it. I cannot wait to take this on like an island vacation with me, because it's perfection in every way. And yeah, I love that one. I hope you guys enjoyed this huge, chatty, fun haul. I love to get these new scents and do blind buy hauls with you guys, especially if they're from Laura Mercier or Jil Sander, some of my faves. So love that. Let me know in the comments below which one of these fragrances you've tried or you'd like to try. I love to hear from you, or just any other Jil Sander fragrances that you know or aren't sure that I own, and that you recommend. I would love to hear from you guys about that. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Bye.